Okay, so I got bored. I get bored really, really quick with things. So I went out and bought myself a Bernette B79 combination embroidery sewing machine. I actually have my old Kenmore Ultra Stitch 6 over here, which kind of works perfectly fine for the vast majority of stuff that I'm doing, but I wanted to kind of embroider a couple things. So I figured, what the hell, I might as well, go out and blow $2,000 on a machine and another $2,000 on peripherals when I can just, go buy an American flag someplace else. Why buy for $2 when you could build something for $2,000? So this is the machine itself. Right now I have it set up for embroidery, and I'm going to go real quick show how I do it. I already did all these today. I had a little bit of a problem with this one because I didn't thread the bobbin right. The vast majority of the issues I've had with this machine are all user error and pushing the parameters or pushing the limits of the machine. Actually, this is about as big as anything I'm making. This is going to be a first aid bag for my wife's car. What I wanted to show is how thick this sewed through. This is this is 4 layers of nylon webbing, pretty strong stuff. This is the 500 weight Cadora, and this is 200 weight ripstop nylon, which I actually serged together. I have a serger too, and put some pockets in. There's a pocket there, pocket there. There's 3 pockets here. There's 2 pockets, I'm sorry. There's 2 pockets, and I actually sewed this in backwards. This is supposed to be on this side. So I just left this, and then I'll just run elastic cord on the inside. This is the inside of the bag. So, and then it'll have a zipper that goes all around the outside, and then a floor plate, which when you unzip the whole thing, it'll flop open. Pretty thick sew. For a home machine. This actually has a built-in walking foot. I'll show that in a later video. So let's see if I can get the camera any closer and show exactly what I'm doing here. So I have this program here. It's called this one's called Bernette Toolbox. This is made by the manufacturer of the sewing machine. So I have all these different icons. They're not icons, they're actually downloaded designs that I bought and paid for. The designs are relatively cheap, but the software to load them into the machine is kind of expensive. This Bernette Toolbox, the full suite is $7.99, and that's the cheap one. But now that does basic design, lettering, and it'll fully scalable lettering, limited scalability of these designs. They're called objects, and then monogramming. I might ditch the monogramming, and that'll save me $300 on the price. So which one am I doing? I'm doing this one here. So it's really cool. The Bernette one is neat because it gives you the options. It gives you everything that's on the Bernette machine, or the Bernette, in my case, machine. And Bernette and Bernette are the same company. Bernette's the kind of like the Hyundai of the, or kind of like the Ford, and the Bernette is the Jaguar. So Jaguar doesn't own Ford anymore. Like the Lincoln. So, or Cadillac and Chevy, whatever you want to do it. Everything's cars with me. So I imported all these onto one thing. This is a representation of the hoop. This is the large hoop. And the interesting thing with the hoop is, in the Rat Bastards, the hoop is 180 by 280 or 260 full dimension. The actual printable dimension is a ½ an inch in on each side, or about 2 centimeters all around. You sacrifice those. So I forget what the biggest printable area is. It's what I'm printing right now is the maximum printable area. You can see this is all, this over here is all unusable space because it interferes with the tool path. Now, one of the things with this particular one, one of the things that I haven't quite figured out yet, and it doesn't matter for this particular design, is the sewing. This is how it sews. So the sewing sequence, they call it. So it'll say, you know, super bright poly, and then the node, and then the node will, you can highlight the node. Let's try one that's a little bigger. All right, so go down even here. Okay, now the bigger one you can see a little easier. Now that's the border around it, but it actually sewed the white first. And that's the that's the stars. Okay, so the node on this one, and you can't see it because it's all the way, it's the very first thing that it prints, which is a white background. And it prints the white, the entire background is white stripes, and then or white, and then it goes in and adds the red. Goes in and adds the red right there. Even though it's the other one, that one. So you can see it flashing on and off. That's the red that it adds. So you can do all kinds of different different designs. Here's one I made that did not work out. That's why I'm doing this printout, because I wanted this one to be actually a lot smaller. And then that's the small hoop, but that design's actually way too big. This is how it printed out. That's my finger, for example, and this didn't work out right because I over shrunk it, and that's actually the one that I'm going to print right now. So you save all this stuff, you put it on a stick, and you go over and you stick it in the machine. And that's the stick. Actually, that's a 250 megabyte stick. When was the last time you saw one of those? Okay, so let's see here. This is what I'm sewing right now, which will be down there, obviously. Down there. I'm trying out a new mount for my camera too. So this one's going to be blue, and the machine actually tells you what color it's going to be or needs to be. Threading this machine is relatively simple compared to other machines I've seen in the past, and nothing like a movie projector. All right, so that, and then down there, and then back up around there, down there, through there, and there's another little, there's a footsie. There's a little thing here. I gotta take my glasses off. Oh, there, look at that, I can see. So there, it goes in there. This has an automatic needle threader, which is phenomenal. Comes up, goes like that. Thread the needle. Cut the little tag off. It didn't cut the tag off. It doesn't always work. It does thread the needle if you do it right, though. There's a little tiny hook in the needle. It's a little tiny hook that slides through the eye of the needle. There it goes. And then you just press green for go. Alright, and then it's going to ask me to cut. I'm going to take this helmet off now. So now it's asking me to cut, but I don't actually need to cut this one. So it's asking for a cut. I don't need a cut. I'm just going to skip the cut. You do sometimes have to cut, though. That's two. And then it shows you the tool path as it's cutting, as it's sewing, which is kind of cool.
There's no good way to do this.
I'm not going to bore you with the whole thing, and I don't feel like jigging the camera up to do it, to set it there and show you time lapse on how it does it. You kind of get the idea. The table is the XY. And it moves. The needle does not move. I'll show that the needle just goes up and down. There's no movement of the needle at all other than up and down. Okay, so I had a thread break, which is not uncommon, but what's kind of cool here is it lets you go back, it lets you jog back. It lets you jog back stitch by stitch by stitch. Each one of those is a stitch. And it lets you jog back a lot too if you have to with the bottom knob, but I'm not going to do that. So it's got the knobs, the jog shuttle knobs. So I'm kind of limited with the GoPro to show exactly what the machine can do, and I don't feel like getting my other camera out. So this is the printout that I made. Now, this took, this took probably like 5 hours, even though the print time was only supposed to be 2 hours. It took that long because I had some problems with the bobbin on this one. And I had to stop and re-thread the machine a few times. Same with this one. This one actually printed twice because I screwed up and fed the wrong thread in. Actually, I didn't thread the wrong thread in. My my sleeve bumped the touch screen, which is apparently a lot more sensitive than I thought it was, and changed the parameters of the print. So it printed all in one color. So this flag actually was all white. And I reprinted it in the correct black and white and blue. I do need to get some more colors. I said I paid for all these, so I wanted to print them out to make sure that it worked okay. That's about it. And I have a couple other ones I want to do. Now the big issue with these, especially this is the one that I really liked, but I can't shrink it down small enough to use on the products that I'm making, so it's kind of a bummer. So I think actually I'm going to probably end up either switching to this one or create my own without an embellishment. Or an object. So that's that.